I'm from Cuba. I came in 1980 during the Mariel boat lift, which is a huge part of Cuban history. My grandfather was a political prisoner, so he was very openly against the Cuban government. And he came home and said, all right, we're going. And that was a pretty hard realization for my family at the time, because the government would keep everything. We made it to Key West, and half of my family stayed in Miami and the other half came up here to Tampa, which was our half of the family. And the struggle began. So my family was on welfare for 3 months, but they refused to come here and be a burden on the government. So 3 months later, they were off welfare, and the entire family pitched in and they rented a house. And my mom worked in a factory, and my dad was a custodian at a nursing home. He's a roofer, he was a driver. They did every little side job they could just to make it work. They did not take no for an answer. They struggled, but they kept pushing through, and it's something to be really proud of. In 2013, I went across the whole state of Florida looking for the perfect horse to join the mounted unit here. And I found the perfect horse out in Deltona, and I brought him home, and we were getting to know one another. And 6 days after I brought him home, I was involved in a really bad horseback riding accident with him. He was running towards the road, and I didn't trust him that he was going to still take the sidewalk, and I made a split-second decision to jump off of him. I tumbled a little bit, and when I sat up, my leg was shaped like an L, a backwards L. I was airlifted for a leg amputation because I was told my vascular injuries were very traumatic. We were told that they were going to try to save my leg, so they did. They saved my leg, but the prognosis was really grim from the get-go. They said I would never walk again. I cried every day for 14 months straight, every day. I knew my mom and dad pushed through for my sister and I knew I had to provide for my son. So if I couldn't come back to work, how was I going to do that? So that was a big motivator for me to stop feeling sorry for myself and work hard. My mentality was, you don't have a choice. You have to do this for your son. You have to. You have to. The only way you can't do this is if you quit, and I couldn't. That was not an option for me. I do owe the agency basically man, this is where I get a little crazy with my emotions. I owe the agency big because they were there for me. They held my job for me, and they probably didn't have to do that, but they did. And anything they've ever asked of me since then, I'm front and center, like whatever y'all need from me, because they gave me the opportunity to get through that, to come back, and then come back even better.
If this episode of Before the Badge has inspired you to protect and serve your community, we are currently hiring law enforcement, detention, and civilian positions. Go to joinhcso.com to learn more.